guys.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good, thanks.
Good. How are you?
Ladies, gentlemen.
Conference calling.
You're supposed to call them in from Australia.
Yeah.
Phoning in bids. For
yeah.
It's surprising halfway through you hear a voice.
like Sotheby's, Yeah.
And now I'd like to ask.
So they were just saying how this film was like being on summer break almost, and just the filming and the shoot and whatnot.
Yes.
Same experience for the adults as the children.
Yeah. It was summer break with stress.
We masked our fun with, or our stress with the appearance that we were totally at ease. But I think in our minds we were also, what's happening? Yeah. But it was really fun. I mean, we were all staying on a street, parallel to the beach in the small community of Green Harbor, and the town was so incredibly welcoming and warm, and it was hard not to feel like you were living this sort of beach community life in a sense, So while it was, there were terrifying moments and lots of stress and anxiety, between the two of us, it was really fun. I mean, it was a fun place to shoot.
Terrifying moments. Talk about that.
Terrifying moments? Well, it rained the first 2 days, so I was pretty perpetually terrified for 2 days as they were going how are you going to make this up?
Yeah.
How are you going to make this up? I'm like, we just started. I don't know.
I know.
Got to figure it out day by day.
You guys are way behind.
Yeah.
It's like, I know, but it wasn't our fault. We didn't do anything.
Yeah. But I think it was all good terrifying. I think on a day-to-day basis, just to try to make 6 pages a day on a 24-day schedule is a Herculean task. Especially when the weather will play with you and equipment will play with you. Anything at any time. So I would just say an overall terror.
No particular water slide terror.
Yeah.
No.
How did you guys develop, I guess, that good cop, bad cop relationship to kind of get things going in the day? Does that help you guys, or no? It was a more equitable partnership to direct the film?
Well, Jim is the bad cop. I mean, he is tough as nails, and is militant in his direction.
Yeah.
No, I would say that we are very much unified in our vision and in what we want, and so we've known each other for so long and been friends for so long that I think I think we complement each other well. We sort of are an old married couple, and we finish each other's sentences, and we can speak for one another. And
I'm not finishing any of these.
But so I think we had a pretty clear vision right from the start of what we were trying to go for, and so obviously we didn't want to inundate our actors or our crew, so we would, often conference between the two of us, and then, go out and one of us would relay the message. But, one of us was sent out.
Yeah, one of us sent out.
Chinese whispers.
Yes.
You're going to do this.
Here we go.
Yeah, but it was pretty seamless. I mean, it was very similar to what, we've been for the last 15 years.
What strengths would you say each other? It's like who has the more visual sense versus the more performance side of
I don't know. It's tough.
I know, because I'm sort of performance and visual.
Yeah, I was going to say
you're
exactly
just
the opposite.
Oh, what?
Yeah. I was going to say sometimes I feel like your eyes are always shut. Like you don't see anything.
Well, that actually is true.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes squinty. No.
Just when you're talking.
Yeah.
Zing!
Boom. I think I would say the answer to that, as far as on the performance, I think the strength that we had going into this, being first-time directors, was a sense of the script, what it felt like to be spoken to, having been on sets as actors. I think that was our strength, is talking to the actors, talking about the intention of the scene, talking about the performance element of all that kind of stuff. Plus, we had a very reliable cast to sort of be the receptors of our thoughts. And then on the technical side of things, I think, we do tend to write pretty visually. So I think there were some things that we sort of knew going into it that we sort of already had in mind. And then coupled with sitting down with John Bailey and sort of coming to an agreement about how we wanted the house to look, to feel claustrophobic, as opposed to the water park to feel open and Oz-like, to have more motion when we got into the water park as more of a, but always trying to keep, especially to feel like voyeurs, to feel like we really were, the camera wasn't too present, and that would sometimes, for financial reasons and time reasons, be like doing a lot of one setups for a number of scenes, whether it was Sophie and him walking down the beach to the dinner scene where they're waiting for Trent, a lot of like oneers, or two,
and really making sure we were coming from Liam's point of view, the
right,
Duncan character.
Yeah.
We were sort of at all times aware of his place in every scene and his connection to what was happening. So it was us, having a lot of conversations with our crew about, we would sort of relay what we were hoping to, what we would strive for, and then hopefully they, would help us translate that in a cinematic way.
So what are the lessons you learned from making this movie?
Nat has a temper. I learned that. No, we already knew that.
You want to go talk for a second? Should we go talk?
It's more painful.
Should we go talk?
There was lots. I mean, from obviously we were educating ourselves in lots of avenues. But I honestly, some of the things that I think. Some of the things I think that I learned the most was just an appreciation for the whole process in general, because I feel an affection for the moments we had, because it was making such a small movie in a limited amount of time, and we battled the weather up until at the beginning, and then at the end it came back and decided to sort of fuck with us some more. And on the last night was a downpour, and we had the movie had to finish. In other words, there was no option. We had to shoot everything, and the rain was coming, and it was, unfortunately, we had split up our night shoots into sometimes two nights, and so this was the second night of a night that had no rain, and now we needed this. But while your brain shuts down because you're so tired and you're like frustrated, at that moment, our crew pretty much from different departments was already starting to string up this tarp between the two houses to sort of, so we could shoot under it. So you're spinning and thinking, how are we going to do this? And everyone is sort of going into their own mode of like problem solving. And I took appreciation for, because as an actor, sometimes you're not privy to all that, you're here, then you walk to set and everything's to go. So to be able to, not that we weren't aware of it obviously, but just be in that moment, realize one, what it really felt like to have people help you make a dream come true in sort of a selfless manner, to just say, well, here's how, yes, it's raining, so let's do this, And so I think, if anything, I learned the appreciation for the process of doing it as a team, because that's the only way it gets made.
Also, I thought your characters were so believable, and other directors like Tarantino, and you watch them, you can tell they're worrying about this and that, and they shouldn't even do this scene.
And then we did an amazing job.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
especially
really completely.
Well, I mean, it's funny because people ask Jim, they show such an appreciation for all the weight that he lost and the paleness that he, exuded, for the character. And then little do they know that was him just stressing out. And
I did. I guess it's one thing, we didn't have a budget for playback either, so I never really saw what I looked like. And I think when we were there, I was like, what happened to me? I mean, I could see the stress on my face, which actually worked. I mean, the mustache was a choice. But aside from that, I was like, woo, ugly stick.
It's like, what movie was I in?
I know. It really felt like, but it worked. But it was.
Was it cathartic though for both of you to kind of like give yourselves these great little like salt and pepper moments to the film to kind of break out of it a little bit?
It was challenging, obviously, because you do have so many things going on in your brain, and you're there were certainly moments where you're talking about lighting or costumes or anything, and then all of a sudden it was like, all right, we're ready to go, and it's like, oh, Nat or Jim, you guys are in this, it's like, oh, I'm sorry, what, and then realize like, right, okay, but I think we did, we are actors, and we got into this, because we wanted to write ourselves, more interesting, exciting roles, way back when we started developing TV stuff. And so I think we were always looking to quench that need that we have to, sort of be in front of the camera. And this felt doable because it was, there were smaller roles, and it was really fun to be able to be a part of this cast, and selfishly to be a part of this talented group, and to say, yep, we're part of that cast, an incredible cast.
It was like we at one point, I think there was one distant version of our poster that had us on there, and I was so offended by my body. I was like, I don't want to see me, so we smartly removed ourselves.
Yeah.
You do uptight some of those. Like, oh my God, he's gonna shit at Diamond.
Yeah, he was.
If he's on screen any longer, we're gonna see on Diamond line.
Yes, pull from what you know.
When you guys were putting this story together, was it more a sort of nostalgic walk down memory lane, or was it more like you wish aspects of your childhood were like this? Or
Wow.
I think certainly having a fondness of coming of age stories and rites of passages and the movies of our youth, we talk about, Sam Rockwell's character, and we sort of have the Bill Murray template from Meatballs, and we talk a lot about, the John Hughes movies, where the kids aren't sort of talked down to, but they're dealing with real issues and real emotions. And so I think, certainly it's probably a combination. It was being influenced by that type of movie and the movies that we grew up on, and then also, the first scene did happen to Jim.
So I sort of lived it.
He did,
already.
yeah. So
Seriously?
That was exactly conversation in a station wagon with my stepfather. I was 14, and we spent our summers in Michigan. I'm from North Carolina, and we would drive up to Lake Charlevoix every summer. And our second summer going up there, that's the conversation we had.
With the same numbers?
Mm-hmm. I said 6, he said 3. So the answer is yes. We lived it.
So is this
Yes.
representation of your real teenage angst then?
Well, I think we start with that. So everything after that is fictionalized, and all while we always are inspired. Pieces of characters are always pulled from our lives. None of that was like, and then I met that an Owen, and then I had this amazing thing. None of that happened until I met him. I guess 15 years ago.
Sort of the Owen.
So my coming of age started 15 years ago. I just had my rite of passage.
Did your rating go up at least?
Not according to him.
4.
Yeah.
4?
No.
No.
We don't believe in ratings. Everyone has that reaction, which as well they should. Obviously, we heightened Steve Carell's version of Trent is much different from my actual stepfather. But it's interesting because the in his mind, Trent thinks he's giving him this great advice, and it's probably the way his dad said it to him, and he didn't see anything wrong with it. It's just a different way of being raised. And my stepfather said that theme to me, of that I wasn't taking advantage of stuff. I wasn't meeting people. I wasn't, I sit around the house. And I can't argue that I probably was, and I can't argue that I didn't be influenced by that, just like Duncan randomly, maybe he doesn't want to deny it, but he got on his bike and he left and he found this place and it came true. So, in a weird way, that's the whole purpose, is that sometimes the person that we run into that gives us this piece of advice, while we might hate the advice then, is the best advice we got in a while.
So is he coming to the premiere, the stepfather?
No. Oh, my mom's, he was just my stepfather from like high school through college. So I haven't seen him since, but like I said,
may have changed his
he's a
rating.
much better man than we were depicting.
You have this amazing cast. How hard was it to cast Duncan's character with these surrounding? Because he just holds up, next to these amazing, talented people.
Yeah, I know. We really got lucky with Liam, obviously. Certainly there was trepidation, I think, going into the casting process, obviously, because as we've talked about, he is on every page and in every scene, and I think you're so much hinges on that role and the believability of that character, and you want to find somebody that you are rooting for. And I think when Liam, he flew down from Vancouver and auditioned for us, and it was just, he just is that kid in a sense. You really see it. It's not so obviously polished or obviously rehearsed, or it's just very natural, and he has, as he self-proclaims, a sort of old soul about him, and I think he was able to handle the subtleties of the character and the looks, because he doesn't say a ton, in the first part of the movie. He really is just observing, and he's just sponging, and so he sort of naturally has these sunken shoulders, and so then, by the end of the movie, it's like, all right,
Sit up straight.
Sit up straight, but I think he did really sort of, I think, grow up kind of like, and have this great summer, as he said, probably, this really fun time, and I think it was sort of it was an experience, a rite of passage, maybe on camera and off, in a sense, he definitely bonded with Sam Rockwell quite a bit, and seeing their friendship was really special, and I think we're just so glad that we found him and that he's part of this,
Thank you guys. That's all I have time.
Thank you.
Oh, there we go.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Yes. Oh, good. Thank you.